Welcome to 5 Minutes of Momentum. These episodes are a short 5-minute burst of inspiration, motivation, and massive action. If you need that little kick up the butt to get things moving and to inspire you to take massive action, then every single Thursday I'll be sending you through a 5-minute episode to download, digest, and implement to finish your week off strong. Are you ready to get started? Let's go. Welcome back to 5 Minutes of Momentum. Today I want to talk to you about when you want to grow faster. So sometimes we can get really frustrated with ourselves and feel like things aren't moving along as quickly as we would like them to be. And then there's the other side of the coin, which is that we really just want more growth, right? And so we want to recognize there's a couple of key things that I always look at when it comes to wanting to grow faster. One, do you have everything in place in order for you to grow faster? And if the answer is yes, that's awesome. And if you don't, you may need to work on the behind the scenes pieces in order for you to be able to scale. The secondary piece is actually your mindset, because often whenever I have someone that comes to me that wants to grow faster, I look at two things. One, have they gotten leverage on themselves? So what I mean by this is, have they made their goals so important and they've prioritized their goals so usefully in their business that there is no other way other than to succeed? There's no other outcome because they've gotten leverage on themselves. They've made it so important. And what I mean by leverage is everything from getting a coach, getting support and accountability, investing in yourself. Maybe it's hiring the team member. Maybe it is setting that massive goal and challenging yourself to go, if I don't achieve that goal, there's going to be a consequence, right? So I remember saying this to a client of mine a little while back where she knew she was procrastinating. We'd done all the mindset work. She knew it was just things that she needed to take all the action on. And she was like, I know, I just need to pull my finger out. I just need to pull my finger out and do the actual thing. And I'm like, yeah, the only way that you need to move through to that next phase of growth is you've got to take that massive action. And we need to have the courage and to do that. And sometimes we need to get leverage in ourselves in order to make it happen. And often I hear people talk about when you've got a deadline in place, you feel like you are much more productive. Sometimes you need that, right? And that's getting leverage on yourself. And I remember saying to her, okay, so if we're going to set this goal, we've detailed out exactly what it is that you need to do. And so if you have not done it by this specific date, you are going to pay me $5,000. And she was like super shocked on her face. And I was like, yeah, I know. Like, it has to be so shocking that it causes you to take the massive action. Like, there has to sometimes be a consequence. And sometimes it can be a reward, right, that is motivating for you. But other times it needs to be leverage. And so sometimes I'll invest in myself, knowing that that's actually going to cause me to level up. And that's why I think about this in this way, get leverage on yourself so there is no other way other than for you to succeed, because you have to take that massive action. Secondly is getting clear on the actual massive aligned action. So sometimes I'll have people come to me and they're frustrated with where they're at and they're not growing the way that they want to grow. And it's often because they're spending time doing stuff that is wasteful. It's actually wasting time doing stuff in your business that doesn't generate the results that you really want. And this is really key. I have this happen in Elevate Mastermind so often that they get to the point where they realize that we go through the sales module and they start realizing oh my God, I have not been selling. I've not been selling. I've literally been posting on social media and hoping that created results without a strategy in place. Or maybe they didn't even have a sales system in place at all. And so they're just hoping, wishing and praying that their income is going to come in. The clients will find them and just so happen to be in the right phase that they're ready to invest. And this is the thing, you're leaving so much up to chance. And this is where I feel like sometimes we get so caught up in loving our business and doing the things that we really love doing, but forget that there are key strategies in order for your business to succeed, you need to put in place no matter what. And these are the foundational pieces, and sales is a really key part of that. So one thing we do is actually look at, okay, so what are the actions that you're taking in your business? What are the behaviors, the consistent behaviors that you're taking? And if they're not generating the results, then we need to look at why. Why are those results not being generated from those actions? Do we need to change our tact or approach? Do we need to actually change the specific action that you're taking? And majority of the time it is, yeah. We need to actually just stop doing the thing that's not working and start doing the thing that will work. And that will take time to obviously generate the results. But when you take massive aligned action, that's where the results start rolling in. So I can give you an example, right? So I remember working with a client a couple of years ago, and she was in the same position where she was literally just so frustrated with things not working fast. She wasn't converting clients that she would like to convert. She wasn't actually generating the leads that she really needed in her business in order to generate the results that she wanted for her income. And so we looked at the massive aligned action she was taking. Some of the stuff was working, some of it wasn't. Now, some of the stuff that was working, she wasn't actually following through on the conversion piece. So she needed to put in 2 small, simple steps that she could then turn those leads that were already coming in into paying clients. So we put that in place. And then what we did is started activating a new sales system. So previously what she was doing is relying a lot on her social media content, relying a lot on her personal connections, which do work if you have a plan in place. Thirdly, what we wanted to put in place was actually a sales system. So she created a webinar. We tweaked it to ensure that there was a sales structure with the webinar. She put that in place. She generated 350 leads to the webinar, right? 350 was so awesome. She put a little bit of money behind ads, generated 350 leads, and then she was able to convert those leads to one-on-one calls. I think she converted 50 calls. Like, she ended up doing 50 calls. It was crazy. She just like booked herself out. It was so like too much almost. And she recognized this next time. So she didn't put as much money behind the next webinar because she was like, I can't serve all these people. And so this is, again, she was just scaling almost too fast. But once she tweaked the piece, like there was just those small little tweaks in order to make sure that there was conversion in place, she was able to convert at a really high number. And she was literally so blown away with her results that she looked back on the results of her past 6 to 12 months in her business and was like, no wonder I wasn't getting the results. I wasn't doing any form of sales that converted in an effective way. And so this is where I talk about massive aligned action. You've got to make sure that you're doing the right steps. It's not just doing the steps, it's got to be the right steps. So 2 key things for you today. Think about how you can get leverage on yourself in order so you can take that action and succeed. 2, are you doing the right steps? Are you taking the massive aligned action? Are you taking big enough action in order for you to generate the results that you're looking for? So if you want to grow faster, go and do these 2 things.